YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with my NFL locks of Week 8. Doing this video every single week. We also have straight up picks, and I have my score predictions every week on the channel. If you want more score predictions, you go ahead and go to the Patreon. You get Junior, the current leader and defending champ here at the Goat House. You get his score predictions every single week. You also get updated playoff predictions and updated NFL mock drafts every single week. You support us and you gain content by going to patreon.com/thegoathouse, link in the description. And we're trying to get to that 40K goal. We're about at 30K, so please help us out by subscribing. Full NFL content here. We even got power rankings, recaps, plenty more. Click that like button. Check us out on Twitter. You see on the top right, there's also a link in the description for that. But locks of Week 8, we're going to take a look at my straight up locks, spread locks, over under, and we'll take a look at the upsets of the week. So we'll start with the straight up locks. I chose two teams here: the Rams over the Bengals and the Packers over the Chiefs. There's quite a few you can throw in here. Next would probably be the Vikings, but the Vikings got to prove to me they can play on prime time. I've seen them kind of blow that over the years, so I was a little scared to put the Vikings in here, but they should have no problem with the Redskins tonight. But the Rams got a little momentum and energy going against the Falcons last week, just what they needed. Now they're home against the Bengals, arguably the worst team in football. So the Rams really, should have no problem. But we've seen a little, rough games from the Rams this year. And the Packers with the beat-up Chiefs team, no Patrick Mahomes, and the Packers are rolling. These two should be the locks of the week. So we'll see. A lot of people just throw one team in there. I try to give two every week. So a little risky, but I'm confident in those teams. Some spread picks. I got 4 this week. I like the Chargers +2 at Chicago. The Buccaneers +2.5 at Tennessee, and then the Jets +6.5 at Jacksonville. So those are my underdogs, and I have one team that's favored. The Packers -3.5 only. It's kind of odd. It's only 3.5. It's a little weird. Once again, I went with a lot of away teams. Last week, I chose all away teams too. I went 3-2 last week. Wish I could have done a little better, but again, over 500. So we're positive on the day from last week. So I chose 4 this week. Happens to be away teams. I did my score predictions, so you can check that out, but I did pick the Chargers to win the game. I picked the Bucs to win the game. I didn't pick the Jets to win. I don't think they'll win, but they have a chance. I had it a 1-point game. They're +6.5. That one I'm on the fence on and putting on here because just so close to that 7-point underdog. I feel so much more confident if it goes to 7, so that's one to keep an eye on. The Packers -3.5. If I had to guess the spread before it came out, it would have been close to double digits, maybe in the double digits. So that one's a little odd. You would think the Packers really have no problem there, but yeah, I guess you never know. Sunday night in Kansas City, you never know. But those are my spread picks of the week. And then over-under, I like for the Jets and the Jags. We just talked about that game. I like under 41. I did predict the score of that game. I had it a defensive game, and definitely under 41. It was low 30s if you saw the score predictions, or if you want to go check it out. It was in the low 30s for the total. So under for Jets-Jags, I think a defensive game. I guess they're thinking maybe the Jets offense can get going like they did in the Cowboys game. It's very possible. So I guess that's one thing to keep in mind. But I like the under 41. And I went with the over 51. 51 is a lot of points, but I think a shootout with the Raiders and Texans, I think either team can win this game. The Texans are favored being at home here. And then maybe having a little more talent than the Raiders. But I think a good game, a shootout, should be over 51. These overs, me picking the overs this year when it's been 50 or more, they've been tough. I did it with the Chiefs a couple times and just missed out on the over. So we'll see if we get one here. But I really expect this one to be over. And then we go to my upsets. I got 3 underdogs, but these two were I actually think are more of underdogs. My other one was the Eagles over the Bills, but that's, I think a 1.5-point spread. Not too much of upset picking the Eagles in that one. But I like the Chargers. I had the Saints against the Bears. The Saints in Chicago last week. I was very surprised the Saints were underdogs. Not as surprised the Chargers underdogs, but still looking at it bouncing around between 4 and 4.5 recently. That's a little surprising. I think what is underrated about the Chargers, I think they can move the ball. They can move the ball. The Titans have pretty good defense. They're able to move the ball. I guess not enough, half a yard short. They have to use Eckler more, which I think they will do. And I also banking on Melvin Ingram coming back. We'll see if that ends up being the decision. But Melvin Ingram, the glue of that defense. So I got the Chargers, who are underdogs, and the Buccaneers. I got a good feeling about the Buccaneers. I think they also match up well. It's kind of a 2-for-1. I always go off gut feelings because my initial gut, whenever I go against it, I end up being right originally. But on top of it, like I said, I like the matchup too because the Titans have had a very rough offensive line. Their offensive line's been rough this year, and the play's been rough. And the Buccaneers have been getting pretty good pressure. Shaq Barrett, leader in sacks. Yeah, he had a break. That's fantastic for him in terms of the bye week. Comes back. I think you'll get after Tannehill. So you look at the difference between Mariota and Tannehill. Mariota kind of step into sacks sometimes or roll into sacks. Tannehill, he will kind of hang on the ball a little too long, and that could be bad against Shaq Barrett there. So that's something to look out for. And can the Titans keep up with the Buccaneers offense? Love the Titans defense, but the Buccaneers are pretty much going to score on anybody. I don't mean a whole bunch of points, but can the Titans offense, kind of known as, I guess in these two upsets, the teams I'm going against might be the two worst offenses in football, the Bears and the Titans. Can they turn that around? The Titans showed a little bit of promise last week, was against the Chargers. So we'll see. Those are my upsets. Again, my other underdog was the Eagles, but I don't view that as much of an upset looking at the line. That's going to be a heck of a game, too. That one can go either way. So some of these games, like these ones, and you throw in the Panthers and the Niners game, in the Raiders and the Texans, I think all those games are real tough to pick. Most people would say the Texans got to be the easy pick. I disagree. I did pick the Texans, but I disagree. All those games I just named, really hard to pick, this week. So this week's going to be very interesting, very interesting. So if you want to check out more picks, we have straight up picks on the channel with the other Goat House members, and I do my score predictions on the channel, and then Junior does the score predictions on the Patreon, and there's a bunch more on the Patreon. So link in the description, patreon.com/thegoathouse. Check it out. You help support us, and more will come along the way for that. But that's going to do it for this one. We'll be back next week with all this content. The trade deadline is coming up. We already had some trading grade videos, and I hope to do some more, maybe some more scenarios, whatever we think of that has to do with the NFL. We throw it up here. We got you covered, so please subscribe. Thanks, everyone, for watching. That's going to do it. Goodbye.